and welcome back to Contemporary Black Voices. My name is Dr. Sharon Michael Chadwell, and before we go any further, we would ask you to subscribe, share these videos with your friends, and we also want to thank our producer, Carl Booker, for putting the show together. And again, our topic today deals with the reclassification of nurses from professional to non-professional and its impact on the Black community, other marginalized community, and just people in general. We have a special guest today. Her name is Manara Small. She is a nurse, a student, and a social media influencer. Again, welcome to the show again, Manara.
Thank you.
So we're going to roll back a bit. And
hmm
Chris,
Why is this happening?
why is this happening?
Basically, what's at play here, the
The big
Department of
beautiful bill.
Education, the Department of Education and the Medicare Medicaid, those two agencies have the largest pots of liquid cash. And by eliminating these resources and programs, that frees up a lot of money that the administration can put their hands on.
Mm.
Project 2025. Sounds like.
Yes, it is.
So so do they really want a nation of citizens that are uneducated?
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the demographic of people that you are wanting do not fit into the outline of Project 2025. It is not designed for anybody except for the 1% that is in charge of that. And all of these things that are coming up, they are weapons of mass distraction
Mm-hmm.
to get you caught up, because majority of people do not hold the emotional intelligence to hear something and
Oops.
then listen to understand. Most people listen to react. And so the emotional cues and triggers, that's what they hear. When they started talking about the classification and reclassification, all nurses heard was, oh, we're not going to be considered nurses anymore. No, that's not what that means at all. What it means is if they change the classification, then they can get their hands on the money that's available for us to continue our education. And not enough people are talking about that because it doesn't change the validity. And the reason you know that is because no state board of nursing has come forward and said, oh, well, with this change of classification, that's going to change the requirements under which you have to go to school and be tested. They don't care about any of that. We will still be required to go through the arduous and stringent programs in order to become qualified and quantified to take care of people as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is racism 101. Absolutely what they're doing. Go ahead, Chris.
Um, First of all, is this sustainable? And is this something that is already going to be put into progress, or is it something that's coming?
Well, here's the thing, there's a timetable to it. The very first thing is when they first proposed it, it didn't even make it out of the conversation. And the reason being is because going back to 63% of the nursing population is leaving the workforce. That's the baby boomers. No, it is not sustainable. Um, the federal government has already turned it back over to the states to make the decisions in terms of safe patient ratios per nurses. Here in Texas, they absolutely do not support nor protect safe patient to nurse ratios. They're already undoing legislation that Joe Biden put in place that required, because after the pandemic, we saw how poorly long term skilled nursing facilities and nursing homes were staffed, and legislation was put in place to ensure that we have a proper work ratio of nurses to patients. This administration has already rolled back the legislation that's going to protect that, and they have turned it back over to the states to make the decision if they want to or not. Here in Texas, they do not.
Let me
We
ask
do not
this.
have, we don't have safe patient ratios. We do not have nursing unions. It's a lot of things that we do not have in place. And you add to that, 63% of your nursing population is leaving bedside. Now you want to come in and you want to control how incoming nurses pursue advanced practicing licenses when 65% of your population is in an underserved or rural area. It is not sustainable. It is not realistic. And it's probably going to go bust again. They're not going to be able to do it. And not just because of what they are trying to do in terms of one, stop the amount of Black women and women of color who are pursuing these degrees, but also no one wants to serve the rural and underserved except for us. And that's the truth.
Mm.
You don't
Wow.
see ultra white doctors and white nurse practitioners going into the rural country areas, serving the epidemic areas. Right now, they are constantly trying to recruit nurses to go into Vermont and New Hampshire because of the opioid, the meth and the fentanyl opioid crisis that is there. You want to know who's answering those contracts? Black and brown nurses and CNAs, nurse practitioners. White, established, well affluent practitioners are not going to those areas. It's us that serve those areas. And the problem in that is if those people don't have somewhere to go, they're going to go to the rich white hospitals. And those
Menard,
hospitals are going to crash.
let me ask this question. Is this something under a previous administration would actually need to be approved by Congress? Or is this as strictly an administration decision?
Okay, so the very first thing is Congress always holds the purse and Congress makes the laws. Um,
Used to be.
no, it is still that way. This is what I am sharing with you. This administration is master in mass distraction. So because he comes on television and tells you he signed an executive order to what Congress is able to do is the same as somebody waving a dollar bill and we don't have the gold bar behind it. He just makes a lot of noise and he has the governing party behind him that doesn't say anything to contradict it. But if you go and look it up, none of these things have been changed.
You know, and gosh, what doesn't make any sense to me is that these policies that are being implemented by the Trump administration are actually hurting his own base. I mean, the cuts in Medicaid, that's mostly white folk. The cuts, the rural people, I mean, I don't know, he's digging his own grave if you ask me, but
It's not digging its own grave. It's doing exactly what Project 2025 wants to be done. It's just reinventing Jim Crow and indentured servitude. If you cut people off, Maslow has a hierarchy, and Maslow's hierarchy says this: if you take away people's basic needs,
Mm-hmm.
it will transform who they are. Everyone's seen the movie Trading Places. That's what you're seeing at play here. If you take away education, if you take away the economy, if you take away healthcare, you are then going to turn everyone into a criminal element.
hmm, that's an interesting take. And I guess I was referring to looking at the stats on Trump's downgrade, that he's losing support amongst his own base. So this is a double-edged sword in that from a political point of view.
He doesn't
Because
care about his base. His base was only there to bring him into office. It's a well-known fact, like you said, Mario, that demographic is the largest one that's going to be affected. And their brain, well, good riddance, because if 63% of the population is going to retire, that's a large pile of money that we're getting ready to have to pay out, rightfully so.
Right.
The baby boomers have paid into the system, they have worked, they have reached the age. But instead of paying them out, let's figure out a way to keep that money. So let's eliminate the programs that are subsidized by that. Let's close the clinics, let's close the hospitals.
Mm.
They know exactly what they're doing. It doesn't matter. It's called collateral damage. How many of these people can we affect without it directly affecting us and still eliminating the population that we want?
There's a lot. There's a lot to this, and unfortunately, we are running out of time. But but continue your posts on Facebook. But
I
so
will.
we're going to go ahead and close out. Anybody want to make a closing comment?
I do. I want to ask her, how do we reach you on social media?
On social media, all of my handles are Psych Nurse Diva.
Psych Nurse Diva. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, with that being said, this is Contemporary Black Voices, where we're telling our story our way. See you next week.
Thank you.